Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. That's too sweet. Anyway, so the 2026 Winter Olympics is come and gone. And with the gold medal game in men's hockey now over, this video is essentially ending my viewership of said Olympic hockey tournament. And oh, let me tell you, that game, I think the beginning of that short I made said it all best. What a game. But with all that said, I at least want to give my overall review to the 2026 men's hockey tournament. And hopefully, and be amongst everybody else, hopeful that it's going to be back for 2030, because the wait in between the last one and this one, it only really went to prove how much we should appreciate the NHLers playing in the Winter Olympics. But either way, like I said, this is my review. That's what we're talking about. So let's talk about it. All right, so not counting roster selection, there was a lot of excitement coming into this tournament. It was only the first time in 12 years that the NHL had sent players to the Olympics. Side note, if you want to go over the rosters, check out this video here. But it wasn't without its flaws. Rosters were tinkered right up to the start of the Olympic break, mostly thanks to injuries. Obviously, the biggest name missing from this whole tournament was Alexander Barkov. But the biggest talking point coming into, and probably even still is a talking point, even after the fact, the main arena being used for the hockey tournament. Not only was the surface 4 feet smaller than regulation NHL size, which is by itself smaller than IIHF standards, which apparently we don't use anymore, the surface wasn't even deemed safe until the last possible minute. If it weren't for real experts coming in to fix this at the last minute, we might not have even had an NHL men's Olympic tournament at the Winter Olympics. But alas, as these stories usually end, it was fixed in time with plenty of time at the last minute. But the main purpose was they got to play, and that's the important thing. 12 teams in total made up the round robin, split up into 3 groups. Group A consisted of your obvious favorites, Team Canada, Team Czechia, Team France, and Team Switzerland. Group B consisted of Finland, Italy, Slovakia, and Sweden. And Group C had Denmark, Germany, Latvia, and the other heavy favorites, the United States. Now, using a knockout system in the group stage, the top teams in each group and the second best ranked team after the winners of the group would advance to the quarterfinals automatically. The remaining 8 teams would compete in the qualifying round to see who advances of the 4 to the quarterfinals. Now, some of the highlights of the round robin include, but are not limited to, Macklin Celebrini becoming the youngest player to score a goal in the Olympics, not just amongst NHL players, in general, doing so on his first career Olympic shot. Connor McDavid had himself a tournament going 11 straight periods with a point. Yeah, that's an 11-period point streak, a point per period for 11 periods. It was scary good. Team Finland set a goal and shots record in the same game amongst NHL players when they scored 11 goals on 62 shots against Team Italy. 62 shots. Do you know how many shots that is? That's a lot of rubber. And you had the very, very rare fight at the Olympics between Tom Wilson and Pierre Crinon, which only got Crinon suspended. On top of that, you had 3 shutouts in the entire round robin, with Switzerland shutting out Team France, Canada shutting out Czechia, and Finland, obviously who we talked about, shutting out Italy. At the end of the round robin, Canada and the United States went undefeated to win their representative groups. Slovakia would win Group B based on a head-to-head tiebreaker with Team Finland. Instead of being a goal differential tiebreaker, the tiebreaker in this group was by means of their head-to-head goals total in that game. So because Slovakia won that game 4-1, they won the group based on that instead of overall goals, which meant Finland would finish 4th and advance to quarterfinals automatically. In the overall standings, Canada would finish 1st amongst all the 12 teams, having scored 4 more goals than the Americans. Now, home country Italy would finish last, like France, having no wins, but unlike France, having one less goal than them. Now, the qualifying round really saw no surprises. We got our fourth and final shutout of the Olympics, with Switzerland shutting out Italy to advance to the quarterfinals along with Czechia, Germany, and Sweden. In said quarterfinals, 3 of the 4 games went to overtime, including one of the lowest scored goals in this tournament, a 2-1 United States win over Sweden. Editor's note: I thought Sweden would have been much stronger competition than they were this entire tournament. Slovakia looked really good compared to Sweden, and they looked really good defeating the Germans too, but had the unfortunate circumstance of playing the Americans in the semifinals after that. Finland and Canada also had to go to extra time to advance. In the semifinals, well, that was again as one would expect. The Americans finally let the offense breathe to advance to the gold medal game with a very decisive win over Team Slovakia, while the Canadians almost had to go to overtime with Finland just to settle it until Nathan MacKinnon decided to punch the ticket with 35 seconds left in the third period in a goal that had to rely on video replay to prove that there was no offside on the play. And there wasn't. Barely. But enough to make the goal count and relegate Finland to the bronze game. Now, in said bronze medal game, Finland kept Slovakia close going into the third period before letting it all go, scoring 4 more, 2 in the empty net, to win their country's 5th bronze medal in Olympic history. And although I'm sure repeating as gold medal champs would have been a better plan and more ideal for Team Finland, in their mind winning a medal for the second straight tournament still has to be a gooder, especially when the competition was as heavily favored amongst the North American teams. Which brings us to the gold medal game. And believe me when I say this, the hype was real, not just for this game, but also for the similarities between both teams. Essentially, both teams had the same roster as their Four Nations face-off rosters. Essentially, both teams went through this whole tournament, undefeated. And given the history between these two teams and gold medal games, this is their 3rd gold medal game. 2002 was won by Canada. 2010 was won by Canada in overtime. So if we're calling this one a trilogy, this is your rubber match. But all told, this was the final everybody was expecting. You almost think it was planned this way. What one wasn't expecting, I would think, was how close this game was going to be. Being like 3 of the 4 semifinals games going overtime. I mean, what could be better than a Canada-US game going overtime? You get your gold medal goal. But this time we're giving you an American version of the gold medal goal. Thanks to Jack Hughes, who took a beating in the third period alone thanks to Sam Bennett high stick that managed to do numbers to his teeth to win America's first Olympic gold in 46 years. That's 1980. Not the miracle game. That was the game that got them to the gold medal game. This was their first gold medal in 46 years, and if you could tell, for the country, it felt really good. I mean, who knows, maybe it helped erase the sting of the Four Nations face-off, or maybe even the 2010 gold medal game. Depends really on where you want to put this on the spectrum. For Team Canada, their 5th silver medal in Olympic history, or their first since 1994. But great game all the same. I'm not going to say this was the best gold medal game. In my mind, that was 1994, and that didn't even involve NHLers. But still a great gold medal game all the same. So in terms of goal scoring, here's where our top 10 looks like. Connor McDavid, your tournament MVP. Even though Team Canada ended up losing, Connor McDavid was still named your tournament MVP. Set an NHL at the Olympics record with 13 points in a single tournament to finish first. He took that record that was at 11, held by Solani and Saku, and put 2 more on it. Macklin Celebrini finished second with 10 points, 5 of which led the tournament in goals. Lucas Raymond had 9. Juraj Slafkovsky, Martin Necas, Yoel Armia, and Quinn Hughes all had 8, with Hughes tying in NHL at the Olympics record with the most points amongst the defensemen with those 8 points. Also worth noting, Quinn Hughes had points in every game played. Jack Hughes, Nathan MacKinnon, Timo Meier, Austin Matthews, and Leon Draisaitl round up the top 10 with 6 points each. And your tournament all-star team had Connor Hellebuck in net, Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar on defense, Connor McDavid, Macklin Celebrini, and Juraj Slafkovsky on the forwards. So really, 12 years of waiting for a rematch, 16 years in the making. Obviously, it was going to go one of either ways, but you look at it from the grand scheme of things, it was about time the Americans won that gold medal anyway, I would think. But as far as a return from NHL players to the Olympic tournaments goes concerned, this is a pretty damn good tournament. I mean, again, probably not the best. I'm not going to call it the best. Not until I actually managed to think that, yeah, this one probably was, but it was very, very good. The competitiveness amongst the competitive teams, what more could one ask for? I mean, yeah, granted, some countries that you figured were going to be favorites, Czechia, Sweden, could have played a lot better, but they didn't. The two no-doubters to finish 1-2, the two no-doubters to finish 11-12, as one would expect, but the everything in between, every game played up until from game 1 up until the gold medal game, they were all really good games, I think. But let me know your thoughts on the Olympic tournament. Was it worth waiting 12 years for? Are you hoping to see it again in 2030? Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your opinions on it. So that's another one of them Trev's hockey shows. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you tuned into this point. If you have tuned into this point, well, congratulations, my friend. You've made it to the end, and I'm very proud of you for it. Trust me, the watch time, it helps out a lot. And trust me, I'll never say no to people giving any of my content the watch time, because any exposure is great exposure, and I'll never say no to exposure for this channel. But if you've made it here, if you're digging what I'm doing, if you just want to say, hey, dude, I'm all for it. Throw me a thumbs up. Trust me, a thumbs up helps out as much as the watch time does. You know, it helps plug the channel, it helps get the exposure out there, it helps my stuff go to the eyes of other people, and I'll never say no to exposure. If you really want to, if you haven't done so by now, that red button that says subscribe all over it, come on, you know you want to hit it. I know you want to hit it. The algorithm that I keep talking about, it knows you want to hit it. It'll make you feel good. So why deny yourself a good thing, right? We're making that push to 500, and with the amount of subscribers I picked up with this Olympic tournament, believe me, I am truly grateful you're here. I hope I can keep you along for the ride. Making that push to 500 by the end of the year, or better. Let's see if we can't make that happen. If you want to go that extra mile, that link in my description below, that'll take you to my Facebook page. Feel free to join that. I'd love to see the numbers build there, like I'm watching the numbers build here. I'm fairly frequent on there, whether it's on my own page, whether it's other hockey-related pages or comments or threads, or whether it's other threads. Trust me, I can be found. So I'd love to see you there. So moving forward, as far as this Olympic playlist is concerned, I got one more before I close out this playlist for the next 4 years. One that I wanted to do first, but for whatever reason, did not finish in time. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be looking for me some Trev. Later.